I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to get your question answered on a future episode of We're From The Internet? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/question, tweet your questions at KevinSteve, email kevinsteve@gmail.com, or post them at facebook.com/KevinSteve, or even leave them in the comments for this episode. If you could try out any job for 1 week, what job would you choose to try?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Do I go for the obvious pervy answer, like, Katy Perry's boob manager, or do I go for...
I don't know that that's a real job.
It is a job. I saw it on the internet.
Why do her boobs need manager? They're not
for all of the
overly
pictures that
large.
she's in. I don't know. There's a guy whose just responsibility is to manage her boobs.
A fella does that job.
I'd like to sit on the space station, I suppose, and...
Yeah, but would you
have some
actually
peace and
want to
quiet.
do the hard work that you have to do while you're there? Because
from what I see, they play guitar and stuff.
that's just when they're gurning to the camera to try and make people think space is cool.
I don't think that's the hard part of their job, being up there. I think the intense training and stuff to get
Yeah, so surely you'd have to, if you said, right, I'm going to be an astronaut for my week, your week would consist purely of the intense training. They wouldn't be willing to send you into space by the end of your 7 days.
I assume I would skip that and just go straight up there.
I think there's probably...
They send monkeys up there. I think I can handle it.
I think I'd rather have a monkey. You've done pretty much all the jobs anyway. What is there left for you to try?
I know. I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I thought there isn't really much left. I've applied for most of the ones I haven't had. Like, I applied for a job working for the government as a spy agency type person, admin.
Spy agency cleaner.
It was an admin role, but with a view of becoming...
Photocopying for James Bond.
It was with a view of training towards the big gun stuff. I went down to Westminster and everything. I got to like level 8 of 9 in the tests, and then got a free flat.
Figure out how to get the
No,
photocopier
the final
to scan
step,
to email.
The final step was literally having a conversation with them about what jobs they had going. But by the time I got to it, I said, "I've already got a job now. I've got a free flat. I'm going to go live in that." And went and managed the site. And
to this very day, they've been trying to hunt you down and kill you because of all the official secrets. Did you have to sign the Official Secrets Act?
I believe I did. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to talk about the fact I applied for the job. That's why I've been a bit vague about it.
Interesting. Photocopy boy.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Been an author, podcast host.
An orphan?
An author.
Okay.
No,
that's not a job. It doesn't count as a job.
Of course it does.
Have you ever paid any tax off the back of being an author?
I haven't earned any money out of it.
Exactly, so it's not a job, is it? That's what I mean.
I've done a lot of stuff though. I've been a teacher, I've been a nurse, I've been a manager, I'm a technical account manager at the moment, but also a handyman, kind of get on with stuff that he's doing.
You wear dungarees when you're doing the
No,
handyman
but I just help out with
things.
whatever at this place. It's awesome. Obviously, I'm the co-director of Castiva Media.
I don't think it's called a co-director. I think we're both just directors.
Well, I'm just saying we're both directors. We're co-directors. We are the directors of Castiva Media.
Yeah, we should give ourselves proper director titles.
I thought I was director of swag.
I think I claimed to be director of rack and touring or something. So, yeah, we should have business cards made up for that, really. I don't know what job I'd like to do because I've never really deliberately got a job. Every job I've ever done, I've kind of accidentally fallen into. When I left school...
Except teaching.
No, that was a culmination of circumstance. I didn't ever make a deliberate... I didn't ever wake up and think, you know what, my dream is to become a teacher.
You deliberately went through a year of training and applied for a job.
But I fell into it
Yeah,
because of circumstance. At the time, I needed a job where I could have the school holidays off so I could have my kids. And I had to think, and the only one that's possible is teaching. So I sort of fell into it. If those circumstances had come up at any other time, when I wasn't sat in the third year of uni thinking, what am I going to do when I leave this place in 6 months, then I wouldn't have been a teacher. It was never something that had ever crossed my mind until I kind of ended up at the interview.
I found that a little bit frustrating because me and Fardin had discussed how we were looking at teaching post-uni, and he was going to wait a few years, and I was thinking of doing it. And then you went to another meeting and come out and went, I've just told him I'm going to be a teacher. And we were stood there like, well, we can't go in and say that now. And it was really, really bizarre. But
I wonder now, did they suggest it to me or did I come up with that myself?
I don't know, but me and Fad, I remember vividly the conversation where, because then after I went in and said the same thing, I come out and told Fardin he might as well say the same thing. What's the point of waiting a few years? And he was like, I suppose. And then all three of us bumbled off to uni together.
Yeah, exactly. It saved money on petrol.
It was good.
we got to take Fard into Belgium, although it wasn't necessarily direct.
I know
result
his
of
sister now
teaching.
vaguely. I spoke to her the other week, and then I saw her on the bus. I see her on the bus regularly, and I keep meaning to say your father's sister, but it seems like
She probably already knows. She
I
probably
haven't really
doesn't
got
need
anything
that.
to follow up with other than that.
You could ask what he's really like. What's he like behind closed doors?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
But
How many tattoos has he got? Has he got hairy shoulders? Has he got a wooden leg? I know the answer to all those questions because I've seen him in just his pants. Unlike you,
yeah,
Mr.
you never will. So what would you do then? What is your other options? Would you? I mean, I wouldn't mind being an actor or a singer.
I'd like to try my hand at like everything. See, nothing.
They're both accessible,
Yeah,
aren't they? You don't have
nothing
to
that
be a
I
job.
want to do involves having a job. There's loads of things where if someone was to give me $5,000 and said, "Here you go, have fun this week," I'd perhaps try a week of. I'd book 5 consecutive stand-up comedy gigs, or I'd perhaps go and try my hand at spinning it up playing poker professionally for a week. But I can't think of anything where I'd want to go and do a job. I just don't really like having a job. That's one of the things I like best about teaching, the fact you don't have a boss breathing down your neck. I'd go days.
At your place, you don't.
Well, at any place. You're in a classroom doing your own thing. As long as you get results and and you don't throw a chair at any of the kids, you're pretty much left alone. And if it wasn't like that, if I had a boss constantly saying, "What are you doing?" Because I hate that question. I don't like being asked what I'm doing because most of the time I'm skiving. I'm doing my own thing. But you know what? It doesn't matter if I'm skiving because I'm still getting the results. So if I get results by skiving, let me skive. And in teaching, they seem to let me get away with it. When I was a sales rep for the bank, they worked on the same principle.
You hit your figures, you're
Yeah,
right.
hit your figures, do what you like to get them. They would regularly ring me up at 11 o'clock and I'd just be lying in bed still and they'd know I was lying in bed and they didn't care. They'd ask questions if I'd ever slipped down on my figures, but at my induction they said, "We have this unwritten thing where if you hit your sales figures by Thursday, take Friday off to wash the car." And you just manage your own time and that's how I have to be. I don't know. I just can't be told what to do. It does my head in.
I know what you mean. I mean, where I am now, I like the flexibility of like basically as long as I get results. I'm not mad like you. I don't sit there skiving. I actually spend the time trying to build more. Like I've hit my target, but I'm trying to smash it this month. I'm just trying to see how high I can get it. And so sometimes I just go off on one on the internet, just going down rabbit holes, seeing what comes out the other end, which I always do. You know, I always do that. That's why we ended up with 3,000 games from Netflix and stuff like that. Not Netflix, Love Film, because I was just going off on one like I do. But that's what I tend to start taking a punt at companies and stuff and seeing whether they'll come back to me and be interested in a chat. And I quite enjoy that because it's like I've done the level I needed to do. Now I'm just seeing what I can make happen that other people wouldn't be broken enough to try. Do you get what I mean? So whereas you saw it as an opportunity to go and play Football Manager, I don't really enjoy just sitting around doing nothing. I have to be doing
my
something.
favourite thing. All this being said, of course, if you offered me a week of being Santa Claus, as long as it wasn't the week he has to deliver all the presents, I'd have a go at that. I think there's plenty of opportunity for
I don't
skiving
imagine
there.
he does much work when he's delivering the presents, does he? I think
It's a lot of driving, isn't it?
he just rolls down a chimney and eats a cake. I think I could handle that. 7 billion cakes.
You'd feel sick after a while.
I assume there's some sort of magic at play there.
The thing is, I suppose you get some variety because in America they leave cookies, don't they?
Mm.
So
And you're going to be blasted off all the sherry.
see, we don't leave sherry around these parts.
Where do you leave?
He usually gets a bottle of beer, or maybe Jack Daniels and Coke, or
Yeah, to be
gin
fair,
and tonic.
honey Jack
Really,
Daniels he got this year.
really, I basically ring him up and ask him what he fancies and leave that out for him, and then he always drinks it. He seems to enjoy it, so what's the harm? Drink driving though.
Yeah, see, well, Rudolph does all the work, doesn't he? And he gets that carrot. Do you leave a carrot out for Rudolph?
Yeah, of course. I'm not a
Or you get the
monster.
little nib left at the end?
Rudolph, thing is though, there's 8 other reindeer. They don't get a carrot.
They don't deserve one. They bullied Rudolph and wouldn't let him play in their reindeer games.
Want to support the show? Do all your Amazon shopping through we'refromtheinternet.com/Amazon, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a little kickback on everything you buy.